Dobar dan, poštovani gledaoci, dobrodošli u novu epizodu podcasta Arhitekta. Danas nam je u gostima jedan od autora domaćeg srpskog paviljona u Osaki 2025, Danilo Trevisan.
Hi, Marko.
Iz biroa koji se zove Aleatek Group.
Yeah.
Danilo, we met on the ARHITEKTA forum.
Yeah.
And you and one of our Serbian architects, Jakša, you are the main core partners of Aleatek Studio.
Yeah, Aleatek Studio.
And you are the authors of Serbian Paviljon, Expo 2025 in Osaka, but also the authors of so many interesting projects.
Thank you for the compliment.
They are. Tell me something about your beginnings with Jakša, because he came 14 or 15 years ago. You met and you organized the studio. And what are the beginnings of Aleatek?
Well, me and Jakša, we have a long history of friendship. We met in Shenzhen like 14 years ago, something like that. At the time we were working in the same company, Chinese company. We were not in the same department, but we start to hang out very soon because we find common interest, and we start to develop many interests that were outside the architecture, like video and photography. We had so many experience together. We made some short video, even some. I remember with some good result, some short video. Finally, he developed more also the the video and the filming business. And then after he left that company and went to work to ACOM. After a few years, I also went to work to ACOM, so we find ourselves again together in the same company. And soon after, I opened my company, Aleatek Studio, indeed. And I started to work on several projects. And from time to time, he were supporting me. He was
jumping in that project.
Yeah, he was consulting me and different levels and more closely. And finally, we start to really chase project together. And finally, we became official partner, a few years ago. And from then, I think we get along very well.
Yeah, but it is similar backgrounds or different backgrounds, Serbian, Italian, but you met in China in third place.
Yeah, that's interesting. And now, we are living in different city as well, but we still cooperate and coordinate quite smoothly. Of course, we have different idea about many things, but it's from the difference that born interesting things. It's not. Of course, we have same mind about few basic stuff, few basic fundamental things, and then finally we see the things from different angles. But in the end, this dialogue help us to born better idea. Is the critic that finally let improve your point of view. Sometimes I realize, I'm quite stubborn, like every architect, quite stubborn in my idea.
Mostly.
But sometimes he helped me to understand that my position maybe can improve, and the same for him, I believe. So we move each other mindset, let's say. So far, it's working well.
Let's see. My grandfather that passed away several years ago told me only fool thinks that the first solution is the only solution.
Yeah, of course.
And because of that, the partnership, the team, can be very good in architecture, in every kind of creative process.
Definitely. And I can tell you something, you know, in China, because we were burning at the time like 4 projects a month.
4 projects on month?
Yeah, I'm talking about concept.
Okay.
4 concepts a month. So we were working at literally at the speed of light on the project that we got used to changing and improving and thinking deeper, but we had high speed about concept and solution, that we don't mind to change fastly many things. And you know, when we interface with colleagues from Europe, they are not so used to work as fast as us. So
really?
Yes,
you put the tempo.
So now we see that they find difficult to follow us and in the changing. They are not used, and sometimes we realize, I think we got like a kind of school, a kind of training that is different from what you experience in Europe, because at that time, not now, at that time, there were really many projects in China. That's why finally we were there to work and make experience. So the experience we did, for example, in a year on project is like the experience a European studio make in 4 years.
Talking about fast.
Talking about the concept. You know, I remember my first impact with Chinese project in the new company when I arrived. They told me, okay, you have to do a concept on hotel. Okay, and you have 5 days.
5 days?
5 days to complete the project? Are you kidding me?
5 days.
Hotel, we are talking about big hotel, like
it is not a house.
300 rooms plus facility and stuff. Yeah, but no, it's not easy. You do what you can do, and that was my first impact.
But who told you that? A Chinese
guys?
My
boss, my Chinese boss.
Chinese boss.
But trust me, after 1 month, it was like normal. It becomes the norms. Yeah.
You became a Flash.
Everybody,
like in the movie Flash.
Every architect in China have to be Flash.
Everybody.
No other way. At the time, now it's totally different. So we got this cool, and we understand each other. Me and Jakša, we understand each other pretty fast. We already know what to change, how to operate, we know the direction quite fast. Finally, yes, different point of view about the aesthetic, about the.
It is normally. It is normal.
Yeah.
And what are those first projects that came to your studio? What are?
Okay, one of the first project. No, actually, the first project was the. Two office tower. Actually, no. It was two twin towers.
2 twin towers.
Yeah, 2 twin towers in China, in Guangdong. One was office and the other was hotel, but in the end was changed in
residential. No.
Kind of hotel apartment. And then was changed again in hotel and hotel apartment office. Yes, and plus facility like ballroom and all other facility for commercial shopping mall. Yes, that was a big project and helped me to start up my company at the time.
And some other that came when you collaborate already with Jakša?
Well, with Jakša we worked on many concepts. Some of them built, some of them not, some of them under construction, and one of the I think one of the fundamental projects we cooperated, one of that he really was 100% on it, was a planning project in Chanda, Hunan, China. Urban planning. It was the plan for the airport city. Something like 1 square kilometers planning, and we won the competition. We worked for a while for that project. It was like ancillary district for logistic for the airport, Chanda Airport. So quite interesting from the technical point of view. There was an industrial area, logistic area, and one part of the city development, obviously. And the project was very interesting because, except the logistic, the technical part, Chanda is a special city. Is one of the city that was promoted as a sponge city. You know, sponge city, it was a policy that the chairman Xi Jinping ideated himself and promoted, because in China often, you know, for the climate changing, now there are often flooding or some harsh period of drought. And they are trying to create some system of resilience, water resilience. So they created this this regulation, this set of regulation called Sponge City, that try to regulate the flow of water in the city through some systems that I think in UK, for example, they call it SUTS, the sustainable drainage system, something like that.
They must bring the answer of all those floodings that are coming to that province.
Right. So that city was one of the first, the pilot city,
project,
where every project must have that kind of respect that kind of regulation for the sponge city. So we have to study also the sustainable drainage system, and all the project is planned in a way to be resilient to flooding and try to regulate the water in a better system than the past. The city is is almost, although is several hundred of kilometers far from the sea, but is only at like 20 meters above the sea.
Above the sea.
So it's keen, it's keen to flooding in that area.
Even from the sea? No.
Basically, no, not from the sea, because it's really in the inner part of China, right? And it's surrounded by mountain, so it's in a kind of basin. And the basin is subduing.
Yes, and when the rains come and everything, and when the floodings come, it is like in the bowl of the water.
Right, and we made also some geological investigation, and the soil basically is mud and clay.
Clay,
which
clay, yes.
Doesn't absorb the water, so the water is
stays
totally impermeable. That's why they really need to be careful in their planning.
And then on that project, you were not only architects, planners, creators. You must study much more about technical problems, about geological problems.
Exactly, definitely. We had a geologist as a consultant, so she did some analysis and investigation, and she helped us to understand what are the guidelines for the geological guideline for that project, and so we have to plan accordingly. Very interesting experience.
Great. People love architects love mostly. There's something that is, you know, not only projecting, but some kind of, you know, deeper experience.
Yeah, challenging and interdisciplinary.
Yes, yes. Okay, but there is something that Serbian audience, especially architectural, but wider, wants to know.
I believe so.
It is about Serbian Paviljon of Expo 2025 in Osaka. Right. I explained to you that we have some, you know, problems, and in public we are mostly speaking about our Expo in 2027. Who is the author? What are the problems? What kind of money is state investing in that? And because of that, the whole story about Osaka in 2025, not only Serbian Paviljon, but all other happenings, all other pavilions are stay by the side. Okay. And thanks to the magazine ARHITEKTA and for the forum ARHITEKTA, many architects are now informed what is doing there, who is projecting, what kind of pavilions are over there. And there was a presentation about also Serbian Paviljon on Expo 2025 in Osaka. I know that Jakša is, you know, the main mastermind of the idea, of the concept, because he is from Serbia. He's in the...
It should be like that, of course. He is local, he knows the local culture, and he knows also a lot of things about Japan. Japan is the country he loves most, after Serbia, of course.
Yes.
And he's organizing also events between, you know...
Movie events in Japan and Serbia,
exactly, he's bridging Japanese culture and Serbian culture, and try to organize things to put closer these two countries, which is already very noble. And yes, so he, since the beginning, he felt, I can see he felt very much the responsibility, social responsibility to respond to this call. And he did it marvelous.
Yes.
Definitely with all his heart, I can say, and with good result. For what I can say, of course. Yes. Then public will judge.
Yes, for our, you know, watchers, the concept is came from the big war island. The green heart of our city that is on the Danube and the Sava River.
Exactly.
And after that, from that concept,
he noticed that our plot that is almost triangular, let's say a quarter of a circle, is a special shape. It resembled the shape of this island. And so imagine to transport this island in Japan and let it float on the side there, creating a floating forest that become the theme of the pavilion. So try to create a floating building. At least that was the initial concept, a floating building for exhibition, which help the users, the visitors, to meet the nature somehow and enjoy the exhibition. And at the ground floor was almost transparent, or let's say permeable. In the end, the program was more dense and complicated, so we had to cancel the permeability and to make it more compact. But still, ideally, we tried to make the ground floor more at least more transparent. from a visually more transparent, so treating it with different material, and the upper part more green. Try to put as much nature as possible. We are not talking about, like I said in the forum, greenwashing. I don't want to talk about sustainability. There is nothing sustainable in putting green stuff on facade. We are talking about just aesthetic and landscaping. Our intent is not to be sustainable, which we have other way to be sustainable, but the intent of the green facade is to let the user experience the nature over all the citizens that often live in a city with poor green features, to try to put them closer and experience the nature wherever they can. As I said in the forum, that's my opinion, the future trend of the architecture is to put more green on the building, because in the city we have few space for green. Okay, I see, honestly, Belgrade is a green city.
You think that Belgrade is a green city?
I'm very surprised. It's the first time I came in Belgrade. I see that there is more green. If you come in my own town, there's less green than
really.
Yes.
You know what is the opinion of in public that Belgrade is a concrete city, and there is so much less and less trees and parks. But when I'm answering on some, sentences, for example, on some forums or something like that, I told them, look at the urban plan of the New York or some other cities. Exactly. Where can you find the green? Green. It is not parks or something like that.
Right.
You want what? On every 100 meters to be a park. This is not a small town. This is not Ljubljana in Slovenia or some other small towns. This is a big scale business city, city that is investing in the residential architecture, business architecture, and it cannot be green city. Maybe in some smaller cities, maybe in Scandinavia, in North Europe, that are a little bit smaller, a little bit greener. But here, if you say that we are the green city, great.
Okay, this is my first impression as a tourist. Then I cannot say too much about that. But at first look, I think I can see a lot of trees, a lot of squares. I'm not sure about park because I just went around the city center.
Yes.
But finally, the point is, no matter what is the density of the city, now the mission of the architect is not just build a building and put concrete, but try to find some remedies on what we do, the anthropization of the place, and try to put as much nature as possible everywhere. In our case, in Osaka, of course, the program was so compressed, was so dense of function that we couldn't find a place for the landscape. So we tried to put green everywhere we could. So in the small belt in front of the paviljon, on the facade, so in vertical, we create also some side green wall. I hope they will build in a decent way. And also create with the entrance is a grand staircase, is a stepped landscape basically, where there is green and even a tree, and where people can sit and wait there online, or enjoy the sun, read a book. It is a strip of landscape that has double functions. And one thing that keyword we had to pursue it was flexibility of the space. That means every space, since the program is very dense, every space has a kind of double or triple function.
Yes.
So the entrance staircase is either landscape, either entrance. So even like escape route, like the emergency staircase. So we find for every element more function as possible.
Multifunctional.
Because the space was really limited, and you know, the Japanese regulation in matter of fire safety are quite strict. So we have to find alternative to reduce the amount of fire staircase, you know, the ugly block, concrete block, but rather make some external staircase that can enrich the aesthetic of the building.
Yes, I was listening some other lectures on the forum.
Right.
Several of them told that about density, about small, you know, small amount of space. They must put mostly in the interior. There is no place for the exterior. There is no place for, you know, to play with architecture for urban planning. And because of it, now I understand what are the problems for the in Osaka.
And our plot is even smaller than there. Those pavilions you saw is like
French or something. Yeah, I know.
No, not French, not only French. Also Hungary, that is not so big, but is still bigger than ours.
How big is Serbian pavilion in square meters?
Okay.
Approximately.
Kind of 3.
3 to 500 meters.
I almost forgot. Yeah, kind of no more than 300, I think. 350.
It is very small. It is small.
Yeah.
It is small.
But in the end, yeah, I think the usable area is something like that.
Yes, usable area. That is the
program maybe is like 600 finally total. 600 in 2 floors.
But it is the far more bigger challenge then to put the, you know, all the idea in the small area.
Yeah, very challenging. Like as I told you, even the office have like some rooms or have double function. Like the meeting room can become press room, event room. Some office they can be changing room according with the needs. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was a challenging job, but I hope we got it finally in the end. Let's see. Now it's under construction. Hopefully, they do the construction will be good, and we can see soon what was the result.
And that pavilion will represent the Serbia on the best possible way.
Yeah, and the location is awesome because you can imagine is at the entrance of the west gate.
We are at the beginning.
Yeah, so it will welcome basically all the visitors. You enter the west gate and you find a square, and the Serbian pavilion is on the left side. So you will see this green facade that welcome smoothly welcome and help the visitors to find the way towards the center, the core of the plot. Is just next to the big ring. That's why we also feel a very strong responsibility, and we have to make several study about the facade, how the visitor perceive the facade from the entrance. But I think we got it. I mean, you saw the rendering. It's quite, quite pleasant.
So I saw in the magazine, I saw on the lecture. Yes, I saw everything, but we must present that to the others, to the world also, and I understand that kind of responsibility. Okay, then also for the end, tell us something about some new projects that are finished. Jakša told me, because I didn't catch that part of the lecture.
Oh, pity. You missed really a good presentation. I'm kidding. I know you're busy.
I was doing some other stuff, and I'm responsible for several architects.
Don't worry. You're excused.
That project about those 2 towers and business center.
Okay, it's the Shandong Big Data Industry Base.
Yes.
Okay, yes, that is a nice project, nice for several reasons. First of all, because it is a big project, and but it represents a kind of trend of the future integrated complexes, which I'm studying since a long time, since I arrived the first time in Hong Kong it was like 2007, and Hong Kong at that time was like the city of the future. Hong Kong is depicted in many sci-fi movies as the city of the future, although hopefully is not our future is not that direction. But it was interesting from the architectural point of view to see how they interpret the city, although it's not something that is not something that I share, because finally their way to build those complexes is to negate the city, but to build city in the city. They build complexes that are totally independent and detached by the rest of the city. But in China, when I moved to Shenzhen in China, I start to see those big American company, building these integrated complexes in a different way, the third generation. And I start to study, and finally in 2017 we won a bid, a competition for one of these kind of projects. So we got the design program was about a data center, like a gross floor area around 360,000 square meter. But finally, total ground floor area is more than 500,000 square meter.
500,000.
Only for the phase 1. Phase 1 is like 5 office tower, of which one is 212 meters height. And then the phase 2 is basically a mirror twin with only three towers. It's quite a monumental project, which is the gate of the software park, Jinan Software Park. Jinan is the capital of Shandong. It is a province in China. So it is a quite important project, monumental in the appearance and monumental also in the size. So we were called to join the competition for the first phase. We won the bid, and our proposal was 5 towers, 4 of them connected by a bridge, a ring-shaped bridge, which was a winning idea, not only for the competition, but like 2 weeks ago they opened the project. We went there to witness if the project went well or not. And I must say it was quite successful and beyond the operator expectation. We talked with the operator, they were very happy. The first day they got, because in the ring and underneath, as we were hoping and we were forecasting, they put a shopping mall. So at the beginning in our program, we forecast that should be a support commercial for the office. In the end, they did a commercial, luckily, because these kind of things you cannot control. But the developer found an operator that they built a shopping mall, a supermarket, and in the end is not just successful as a support for the office, but is generating business also thanks to the neighbor that are flowing in this place. It become really a node, anchor project for the community. And we are very happy about that. Except if it is successful from the rental point of view. I know they already sold 3 towers and the shopping mall is already functioning and the project is quite good. If you think that the economy now is not so brilliant like before in China. So we are quite satisfied about this project. And the second phase is under construction. Basically, the developer mirrored the first phase, saving also money about the design.
Yes,
because
I understand.
We were paid only for the first phase. So smartly, smartly they mirrored.
They got the second phase for the money
for free.
for the money for the first. Okay, that is.
We don't complain. So far they build it well. We don't complain. And yes, now maybe during the next year will be completed on also the second phase. And the main features of this project is the integration of function. What is innovative comparing with many projects in Europe? Project in China and in Asia, generally speaking, are very integrated. Our project, for example, is connected directly underground with the metro station. And the commercial that is connected with the metro is connected with the 4 towers and is connected with the 3 underground car parking floors. And there is also this ring at the 3rd floor and the 4th floor that connect the 4 towers. And it has also a 5th floor, half 5th floor, that is a restaurant with a terrace. So at the beginning it should be a green terrace, a kind of garden, but for now it's a terrace. It's still usable and connecting function. It's a nice space. And there are parks. And there is a bus terminus integrated in the semi-underground podium, which on the roof of the station there is a park. And also there are integrated, for example, a gym, 2 swimming pools, tennis playground, so even sports facility. Plus other things that they are still under construction in the last block. We also don't know finally what they will do exactly there. Probably a food court or probably a logistics center. And so the advantage of these mega structures is that the user, the citizen, they can go directly from their home, take the metro, go to office, get out of the office, go to eat for lunch, come back to the office and have dinner in the shopping mall, meet their family and go back home without any need to walk outside with the rain, with sun, with snow. And this is a cold place. The building itself is thought to help people not to meet the external agent, the atmospheric agent. So in the winter overall, when the city is snowing there, I think the weather is almost like Belgrade.
Then I understand.
They can go internally. I mean, they can walk from their home to office and use all the facility without need to go outside.
Microcosmos, the small city inside of the city.
Yes, but it's still differently from what happened in Hong Kong, where this kind of mega structure is isolated because they are surrounded by highways. So once you get out from there, you can go nowhere. But this kind of mega structure of third generation, they are more connected with the city.
With other infrastructure.
Exactly. So they are permeable and they attract also users from the community. So they don't serve only themselves. They are not just self-sufficient, but they serve also the community around. That's the difference.
Great. We are out of time.
I'm sorry for that.
No. It was a it was a pleasure to see, to hear all these informations, not only for the Expo, but for all other ideas and the projects. But I think people will ask me that are watching this, what is that on your head? Can you put it down to explain to the watchers what do you have?
Okay, this is a spectacle.
Great.
Because when you reach a certain age and you stare at the computer for several hours, unfortunately designers have to stare at computers for several hours. My sight is getting worse, and this is the best way not to lose the glasses, because I was losing glasses like once a week, but I find a way to keep it always on my head, and then it's a perfect way. It's also stylish, I think.
Yes. Danilo, thank you once again, and
thanks to you, Marco, for hosting me. It was really fun.
And I think, I hope that you and Jakša will be our guests very soon.
I hope so. Unfortunately, he got something at the last minute and he couldn't come, but...
It is not a problem, but maybe next year, maybe 2 years, because you see in Belgrade, there is also a trend of big towers, skyscrapers. And I think,
hopefully.
And I hope that you will be again our guests and present something similar.
That will be great. That's our wish.
Yes.
Thank you for your wishing. That's our hope. Let's say we are keen to find more and more projects also in Belgrade, since it's the hometown of my partners, my business partner. And we gain experience in Asia that we would like to leverage also for in Europe and in other countries. We are trying to do it slowly. And hopefully you can host us in the next future again for some new projects.
Thank you again. See you soon.
All right. Thank you, Marco.